Bhagavatam class. First we sing Jaya Radha Madhava. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopinath Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopinath Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Nitai Gaura Haribo. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की श्रील प्रभुपाद की ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nastaprayeshu Bhatreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. So we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 7, which is entitled Indra Offends Brihaspati. And now there's a long set of verses from verse 2 to verse 12. Because there's the storytelling and the chapter verse 12 has a purport. I think I'm going to skip the Sanskrit, the story is so long. So translation texts 2 to 8. Sukadev Goswami said, O king, once upon a time, the king of heaven, Indra, being extremely proud because of his great opulence of the three worlds, transgressed the law of Vedic etiquette. Seated on his throne, he was surrounded by the Maruts, Vasus, Rudras, Adityas, Vibhus, Vishvadevas, Sadhyas, Ashwini Kumaras, Siddhas, Charanas, Gandharvas, and by great saintly persons. Also surrounding him were the Vidyadharas, Apsaras, Kinnaras, Patagas, birds, and Uragas, snakes. All of them were offering Indra their respect and services. And the Apsaras and Gandharvas were dancing and singing with very sweet musical instruments. Over Indra's head was a white umbrella, as effulgent as the full moon, fanned by yak-tail whisks, and served with all the paraphernalia of a king. Indra was sitting with his wife Sachi Devi, who occupied half of the throne. When the great sage Brihaspati appeared in the assembly, Brihaspati, the best of the sages, was the spiritual master of Indra and the demigods, and was respected by the demigods and demons alike. Nevertheless, although Indra saw his spiritual master before him, he did not rise from his own seat or offer a seat to his spiritual master, nor did Indra offer him a respectful welcome. Indra did nothing to show him respect. Text 9. Brihaspati knew everything that would happen in the future. Seeing Indra's transgression of etiquette, he completely understood that Indra was puffed up by his material opulence. Although able to curse Indra, he did not do so. Instead, he left the assembly and in silence returned to his home. Text 10. Indra, the king of heaven, could immediately understand his mistake. Realizing he had disrespected his spiritual master, he condemned himself in the presence of all the members of the assembly. Text 11. Alas, what a regrettable deed I have committed because of my lack of intelligence and my pride in my material opulence. I failed to show respect to my spiritual master when he entered the assembly, and thus I have insulted him. And text 12, we can take responsibility. Kokridyet pandito lakshmim. Kokridyet pandito lakshmim. Tripistapa pater api. Tripistapa pater api. Yayaham asuram bhavam. Yayaham asuram bhavam. Nito Vibhuteshvaraha. Nito Vibhuteshvaraha. Kokridyet pandito lakshmim. Tripistapa pater api. Yayaham asuram bhavam. Nitodya vibudheshvaraha. Next. Kokridyet pandito lakshmim. Tripistapa pater api. Yayaham asuram bhavam. Nitodya vibudheshvaraha.
Kokridyet pandito lakshmim.
Kokridyet pandito lakshmim.
Tripistapa pater api.
Tripistapa pater api.
Yayaham asuram bhavam.
Yayaham asuram bhavam.
Nitodya vibhuteshvaraha.
Nitodya vibhuteshvaraha. Word for word. Kaha. Who? Kridyet. Would accept. Panditaha. A learned man. Lakshmi. Opulences. Tripistapa pater api. Although I am the king of the demigods. Yaya. By which. Aham. I. Asuram. Demoniac. Bhavam. Mentality. Nitaha. Carried to. Adya. Now. Vibudha. Of the demigods who are in the mode of goodness. Ishvara. The king. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Although I am the king of the demigods who are situated in the mode of goodness, I was proud of a little opulence and polluted by false ego. Under the circumstances, who in this world would accept such riches at the risk of falling down? Alas, I condemn my wealth and opulence. Purport. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu prayed to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Nadhanam Najanam Nasundarim Kavitam Vajagadi O my Lord, I do not aspire for material opulence or wealth, nor do I want great number of followers to accept me as their leader, nor do I want very beautiful women to please me, or beautiful wife to please me. Mama Chanmani Chanmanishvare Bhavadat Bhaktirahai Tukitvahi. I do not even want liberation. All I want, life after life, is to be a faithful servant of your Lordship. According to the laws of nature, when one is extremely opulent, one becomes degraded, and his and this is true both individually and collectively. The demigods are situated in the mode of goodness, but sometimes even one who is situated in such an exalted position as King Indra, the king of all the demigods, falls down because of material opulence. We are now actually seeing this in America. The entire American nation has uh, tried to advance in material opulence without striving to produce ideal human beings. The result is that Americans are now regretting the wholesale criminality of American society and are wondering how America has become so lawless and unmanageable. As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam 7.5.31, Nate vidu svartakatim hi Vishnum. Persons who are unenlightened do not know the aim of life, which is to return back home, back to Godhead. Therefore, both individually and collectively, they try to enjoy so called material comforts and they become addicted to wine and women. The men produced in such a society are less than fourth class. They are unwanted population, known as Varna Sankara, and as stated in Bhagavad Gita, an increase of Varna Shankara population creates a hellish society. This is the society in which Americans now find themselves. Unfortunately, however, the Hare Krishna movement fortunately, however, the Hare Krishna movement has come to America, and many fortunate young men are giving serious attention to this movement, which is creating ideal men of first class character, men who completely refrain from meat eating, illicit sex, intoxication, and gambling. If the American people are serious about curbing and degraded criminal life of their nation, they must take to Krishna consciousness movement and try to create the kind of a human society advised in Bhagavad Gita. Chaturvarnyam maya shristam gunakarma vibhagasaha. They must divide their society into first class men, second class men, third class men, and fourth class men. Since they are now creating only men who are less than fourth class, how can they avoid the dangers of criminal society? Long, long ago, Lord Indra regretted his disrespect to his spiritual master Brihaspati. Similarly, it is advised that the American people regret their mistaken advancement in civilization. They should take advice from the spiritual master, the representative of Krishna. If they do so, they will be happy, and theirs will be an ideal nation to lead the entire world. Kokrityat pandito lakshmim tripistapa paterapi yayaham asuram bhavam nitodya vibudheshvaraha. Although I am the king of the demigods, who are situated in the mode of goodness, I was proud of a little opulence and polluted by false ego. Under the circumstances, who in this world would accept such riches at the risk of falling down? Alas, I condemn my wealth and opulence. Om Agyanatimirandasya Kinjana Savakaya Chaksurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Mukam karati vachanam pagam haite girim yatkripatam aham vande Shri Gurum Dinataranam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Iswaram. So here is a story of King Indra neglecting to show respect to his spiritual master Brihaspati. Here it was said that Brihaspati was respected by the demigods and demons alike. Well, we hear that in the assembly of King Indra, there are lots of different heavenly people All kinds of different sections of the heavenly realm were mentioned there. Kinnaras, Chanas, Gandharvas, Apsaras, even what was it? Even birds and snakes were there. It was very colorful people there, and because King Indra is mentioned here, he's the king of the demigods. So when he has a party, everybody is very very eager to take part in that assembly. It looks like there was lots of big audience. Sometimes in India we can see when we have some pandal program somewhere, or like I have a one god sister named Gauravani. She's very popular performing her bhajan in India, and she's collecting like thousands of people in her programs. In India, this is available, but not so easily in Finland. Well, for material gatherings, it's possible. Uh, Lots of people are coming to see mundane musical presentation, uh, to have themselves to get some enjoyment in life, material enjoyment. Uh, but this is a kind of a similar setting, but in the heavenly realm, in the material world, we have material miseries, even though we might have parties. Uh, we still like people are taking lots of intoxications in these occasions, and they are thinking themselves to be happy. They are trying to copy the heavenly realm gatherings, but still, when they go home, they are feeling miserable, smelling bad, and the party is over. Mm, But for example, the people in the heavenly realm, they don't need to use, for example, any perfumes because their body is naturally fragrant. So, and their guru is Brihaspati. And Brihaspati, it was said that he's respected both demigods and even the demons. Even though the demons have their own spiritual master, who is the spiritual master of the demons? Yes, Sukracharya. And always this day kind of resembles to their spiritual master Shukra. Like Friday in Indian languages is called Shukravar. So this is the day of Sukracharya, and it is actually a very pleasant day. Usually in the Western world, how our weekdays go. Tomorrow is Saturday, and it refers to Saturn. And with the English word Saturday is not at all far away uh, from the real meaning of this particular day. Saturday in Indian languages it's called Shanivar. Shani is also Saturn, and Saturn is like a character of punishment. So usually, so if you want to enjoy life, then Friday is the best. Not really Saturday. I mean, even old tradition. I think Jewish tradition. Saturday is the original Sabbath day when you are not supposed to do anything, just stay at home. And relax. But our Sabbath has turned to Sunday when we are having our day to rest. But Indra here is neglecting his own guru, and this similar. And then he ends up condemning himself, condemning his opulence, how he was intoxicated by his opulent position and great wealth and respect from others, being worshipped by others. So that, and this is kind of blinding. Mm, Material opulence is blinding. You easily think about that I am in such a high position, so I can do very well on my own. I don't need any guidance or any help from anybody else. Then we might end up in such a situation. The similar occasion was there, and Mahabharata war, Kurukshetra war was taking place, and Balaram didn't want to take part in Kurukshetra war because both of his friends, even his brother, was on the other side, and his main student Duryodhana was on the opposite side. Balaram was teaching club fighting to Duryodhana, and Duryodhana's arch enemy was Bhima. And Duryodhana even had a big statue of Bhima so that he could practice his club fighting towards this statue. It's like today we are throwing darts, and in some cases the dartboard has the face of an enemy. we, can, we can practice throwing darts on the face of an enemy to get inspired to uh, target our darts in the right place. So, so Balaram was in a dilemma situation. Like his own brother was fighting on the opposite side, and his club student was on the other side. He just dismissed the whole Kurukshetra war and went for pilgrimage. Then he actually came to the spot where Ramaharsana Sutta was giving a class, and Balaram entered the place. And Ramaharsana Sutta should have understood Balaram's opulence, and show him respects. But he did not do so. He just continued speaking, neglecting Balaram. And then Balaram came and just with a little straw, he killed Ramaharsana Sutta. I mean, sounds quite brutal, but if the Supreme Personality of Godhead, or in this case, Supreme Personality of Servitor Godhead, uh, and ends your life, it's considered opulent. I mean, it's considered auspicious, but anyway, we should be favorable in our devotional service and please Krishna rather than have him kill us. Anukulyana Krishnanushilanam Bhaktiruttama. So we should worship Krishna, the Supreme Personal Godhead, favorably as Krishna desires, so that Krishna or his expansion doesn't have to come and kill us for our good fortune. So, in these verses, it is described how Brihaspati he went to the assembly hall, didn't get any proper reception from King Indra, and he could have cursed King Indra. He would have had the power. This is an interesting setting that Indra is enjoying such an opulence, but Brihaspati, even though he is in a higher position, in a more powerful position, still his um action is like more simple. Uh, well, it would have been proper for King Indra in all his opulence to show that this person is in a more opulent, actually more opulent position. Because if an opulent person shows respect to somebody, it is can be considered that this person who he is showing his respects is in a more opulent position. And Brihaspati actually was in this position, but King Indra neglected him. And then Brihaspati, even he didn't curse Lord Indra, but he just left the assembly and went back to his home. And it was described Indra didn't show any kind of respect. He didn't stand up, he didn't pay obeisances, he didn't even give him a seat. But even though Brihaspati was in front of him, so this is an effect of material opulence, how it can be very blinding. Uh, on the other hand, it also said that love is blind, and you fall in love with somebody, and that's a proper like a proper expression. You fall in love, so you fall from your kind of sanity to accept blindly. Uh, mm, blindly like something you can see is very enjoyable. Like even many karmi songs, mundane songs, they are talking about this. False wise men say that fools fall in love. And also, this is a little bit concerning idea for brahmacharis when brahmachari is supposed to be uh, uh, devoid of any female association. So that's like increasing your hunger. And then when you see, after some time, you see some woman, and then even though she's not very beautiful, still because it is said that after fasting you see anything as a feast. So then that hankering might be uh, increasing there in practice of celibacy. But we are brahmacharis are practicing this kind of austerity for higher good, for higher opulence, which is pure love of Krishna. So when the story continues, I mean Indra already here he's condemning his opulent position. He realizes his mistake, and that's like a good sign of making progress. When you want to make progress, you need to understand that there is something that I can make progress on this particular area. You notice that there is some failure in my system. So I need to make some advancement to this direction. So noticing that there is uh, something missing, something is not correct, that's a sign that you are capable of making advancement from that point on. So as the story continues, Indra tries to do that, but uh, he kind of is missing his chance. And in some Vedic stories, like for example, when we read Ekadashi Mahatmya, there are lots of stories where somebody might be in a heavenly realm, living in a heavenly opulences, but he commits some mistake, so he has to take very low birth in the material realm, and then so then usually the story goes that he's seeking a solution to his problem, and he meets a sage, and the sage is advising him to follow that there's some particular ekadashi coming. So if you follow this ekadashi nicely, you can very easily get over of this curse and return back to your original position or even better position. So also Prabhupada in this purport to text 12, he is giving kind of warnings about being plighted in an opulent position. He's quoting the Sixastakam verse, Sixastakam number 4, that I do not, where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is praying, I do not want any followers, no beautiful women, nor not any opulence. And as it's supposed to be, I just want to serve you birth after birth. Well, somebody quoted this verse to Srila Prabhupada one time, and I simply want to serve you, Srila Prabhupada, birth after birth. So then Prabhupada commented, don't make your spiritual master come here in the material world again to save you. So we can be also very careful with that statement. Because Srila Prabhupada actually didn't even want to come here for one time, but then Krishna convinced him, okay, you just go and write your books there, and I will take care of everything. So then Srila Prabhupada, out of his great mercy, he came, and he's talking about Americans here also. Uh, that now the situation of Americans, because they are free, they are just enjoying their opulence very freely, and there's no proper structure in an American society. So they are very spendthrift, and whatever comes in their mind, they follow. He doesn't mention the hippies, but he always considered the hippie culture, hippie situation to be like a how you say epitome or pinpoint of this degraded society, uh, and that um, leads to frustration ultimately. Hippies were considered very dirty street people, uh, and the um, other side of it would have been just a very opulent, materialistic, atheistic situation. I mean, it was good that the youth at that age they were frustrated with that simply opulent, materialistic position, and they wanted some. They were looking for something. And that's how Srila Prabhupada, he came just in the right time to give them the best possible guidance. Well, Prabhupada here is kind of condemning, but describing that situation of Americans. They are unmanageable, unlawful because of this enjoyment, spendthrift mentality. And he was actually comparing Americans to Russia. At that time, Russia was more like a down to earth. Uh, it was more structured, and they were not very freely and openly for all kinds of sense enjoyment. And uh, and Prabhupada appreciated that. He was appreciating that it's more like suitable for spiritual advancement, this kind of environment that you are not so freely and openly trying to spread the idea of lots of sense enjoyment. But anyway, he also saw that good in Americans that they are inclined to do some very big things very powerfully. So they should do those big powerful things for Krishna. And in this way, an enlightened person can take gold even from a filthy place. So this was the proper idea. We can try to develop that perception of how can we get best out of this bad situation and make advancement and help people be advanced in Krishna consciousness. Um, and then Srila Prabhupada is mentioning about the structure of human society. And he's speaking about Americans because America is like a very powerful, influential country in the whole world. Um, so Prabhupada was always considering different places where he should go and start his preaching movement. And he was thinking of England also, but then he ended up going to America because of if he can turn Americans into Krishna consciousness, then that will easily affect the whole world. So that's why uh, he did that. And he's mentioning the Varnashrama system that we should create uh, this order of society where there are first class, second class, third class, and fourth class men, instead of this present situation where the men is lower than fourth class, creating Varun Shankara people, and then everybody will become unhappy. One reporter asked Srila Prabhupada one time that what if all the people would become Krishna into Krishna religion in same extent as you do? What would happen to this world? Srila Prabhupada said that this world would become very, very happy. And that's the main idea. Uh, that's what the soul is ultimately looking for. That would mean that the soul is put in its original position as a servant of God, and the original position where he can express and relish its own Satchidananda nature, being eternal, full of knowledge and full of bliss. and then everyone would be aware of their spiritual nature and about the real values of life. I was visiting one old friend of our devotee friend of ours, uh, who is building his own house a little distance away from the capital area, and I was kind of amazed that he's there alone, like as a devotee, he's there alone with his family. But his family is they are devotees. They are homeschooling their children, and the children they also are concerned about what is bhoga and what is prasadam. Uh, and even though seemingly he doesn't have a very strong physical connection to the devotees, but his spirit is there. He's keeping up his devotional spirit. Um, and I thought it was kind of amazing. Usually, we are telling the people that whatever you associate with, you become that. But this devotee with his family, they seem to be having clear idea about devotional life, devotional goal, and they always bring Krishna in their lives somehow or another. So this kind of strong spiritual structure in our system we should build for ourselves. We should always be concerned about uh, how we are building our Krishna consciousness, how we can arrange our life in such a way that the practice of Krishna consciousness is very natural, natural propensity for us. Hmm. Yeah, everybody wants to follow Americans. Yesterday, I heard from somebody that even Chinese people, Chinese and Americans, they are not in a very good terms with each other. Even Chinese people, uh, they are looking forward to uh, eat some American street food. They try to find hamburgers and French fries, and vice versa. In American movies, we see that many times they are trying to get some Chinese food. Um, so um, Americans, I mean, the whole world is affected by Americans. There's American film industry, American music industry, and all kinds of American influence things. But we are very eager to get this American kind of opulence, but we don't realize what lies underneath. Uh, so Americans, even though there are lots of like what Prabhupada criticized about meat industry created by the Christians, there's lots of religious ideas in the background. Even in their paper money, it says, "In God we trust." I mean, how amazing is that? At least something to remind you about God in the midst of that material opulence. So just needs to be directed into Krishna consciousness, like more, more to the idea that what you can do for Krishna, instead of the idea that how much opulence God can give to me. Um, So we can continue trying to develop our own Krishna consciousness by reading Srila Prabhupada's books and chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And make spiritual advancement, not be blinded by any kind of opulent or wealthy position, and always show respect to our Guru and Srila Prabhupada. And in this way, make advancement. Hare Krishna. I think I can end here. So if there's any comments or questions, I can try to answer. Okay.
How can we understand that we are progressing in Krishna consciousness?
How we can understand that we are
Progressing?
progressing in Krishna consciousness.
At our beginning level.
In the beginning level, so that's also always there, that however much we are thinking of Krishna and Krishna's well-being instead of our own well-being. That manifestation of our own well-being may be on different levels. And Krishna consciousness is supposed to make us like happy, satisfied with anything. If we see Krishna everywhere, we can just be satisfied about seeing Krishna. But when some misery or some negativity is coming from somewhere, where we can try and take that attitude that when some negativity is coming from somewhere, then maybe Krishna is not satisfied with me. What could I do to correct this situation? Maybe I'm not thinking about Krishna's well-being enough. Because that idea of negativity, it kind of resonates that I'm losing whatever is standard of my enjoyment. I'm kind of losing my enjoyment. And that already is like I'm thinking of in that situation. I'm already like thinking of my well-being instead of Krishna's well-being. But if we manage to make Krishna happy, then we automatically become happy. And that resembles to the level of the gopis, that even if my suffering is pleasure for Krishna, then Hare Krishna, then my suffering is good. My suffering is my happiness. It sounds quite controversial, but what do I actually own here? I'm not owning anything. I'm not owning even in my mind, which is giving me this feeling of happiness and distress. Well, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that was verse. Can you read the verse? Is it 2:13? Sritosna Sukharukara Agama Paino Nityastam Stitik Sasvapasita. And then also try to find it in my mobile phone. 213.
Bhagavatam, Tasmat Sarvam Yojna. 13.
No, sorry, not that verse. 240. Matras parasastu kanteya shitosna sukhadukara agama paino. O son of Kunti, the non-permanent appearance of happiness and distress and their disappearance in due course is like the appearance and disappearance of winter and summer seasons. They arise from sense perception, O sign of Parata, and one must learn to tolerate them without being disturbed. So, if we are tolerating happiness and distress, then that's a sign of our advancement also. Like I remember one time when I was a kid, and me and the boys from the same block, we went to play baseball, and uh, it was a kind of a. I was feeling it was kind of a romantic afternoon, uh, and I felt very nice in that playing baseball with the friends, and it was a nice moment. So I thought that anytime we go and play baseball at this time of the day, it will be nice. But the next time we went to do that same thing, that same romantic feeling wasn't there. So I noticed that mm, it's not how what we do, but it's just coming on its own accord, and we should be tolerating both of these things. But in Krishna consciousness, even suffering is happiness. If they believe. My Gurudev is usually he's just laughing about it. Whatever good or bad things happen, he's just laughing. Nothing about it. One time he realized that there's nothing you can do. In this way, you can try to learn to see the bigger picture of everything. Like George Harrison has this album, "All Things Must Pass." So everything is just temporarily coming and going, and no need to worry about it too much. Just be Krishna consciousness. Just be Krishna conscious and be happy. Then distribute that happiness to others. So we can end here. Let's face something else. Krantarat Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.